Guys, welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. On our last episode, we had just visited the town of Honleith, where we met a new friend, a golem named Shale. We recruited him into our party, much to the displeasure of some of our companions, as we don't necessarily know if he can be trusted. But anywho, it remains to be seen how Shale will fit in with the rest of the party. So, our next objective, I suppose, is we are actually going to head to Orgrimmar, which is the home of the Dwarves, and we're going to head there and try to see if we can recruit some new allies to the cause. Before we do, I am actually going to make a stop back to camp because I really want to have a conversation with Shale and learn more about him. So let's start there first. Yeah, oh, there's Shale. Shale likes to stand a little bit a ways from the rest of the party. Hello, sir. What's with the heavy sigh?
Oh, that. Merely reflecting on the hopeless nature of the task in front of it. The most likely outcome is that it and its companions will become a stain on some rock for the Darkspawn to tread upon. I shall be moved to a single tear by the tragedy.
Wow. Glad to know you care, at least.
It's true. One single tear, and then it's off to the north, I think. Or maybe west. I haven't decided. What's that? Did it hear flapping wings? There may be pigeons nearby. We should be alert.
I love how he's more afraid of pigeons than Darkspawn. He's definitely quite the character. I don't know. I didn't expect Golem to have so much sarcasm and wit, I suppose, but he certainly has both. You're still with me, I see.
Yes, its adventures are interesting, even if the chances for success are remarkably slim. It would be better to throw oneself off a cliff, I suspect. Does it wish me to leave? I can, though I see no reason to go.
Don't go. I happen to need you.
Refreshing. Normally, such words would be accompanied by the wave of a control rod. I shall remain as it asks. Perhaps we should continue. Its chances of success are small enough without further dawdling.
Okay, hang on. I want to ask a few golem-related questions. You're not letting me get to that point. I'll say I have some questions.
It doesn't have better things to do.
Honestly, I want to ask all these questions. Maybe we'll just have story time with Shale here. I'll say, are those crystals in your skin?
I like to think of them as accessories.
What do they do?
I suspect that it is an art that was practiced when golems were more, commonplace. My former master collected whatever lore he could find on the subject. He searched far and wide to collect what crystals he could and then added them. It is not an unpleasant sensation.
So they're decoration?
As I understand it, the crystals allow me to alter the flow of magic around me. Wilhelm had hoped to turn me into a battery of mana, something he could tap at will.
But they can do other things too?
Some of the crystals increase the presence of mana, some absorb or reflect spells. There are various kinds. All I can promise is that should it ever find one of these crystals, I can likely tell it the function and what it would do if added to me.
Would you be willing to have more added?
Why not? I don't get to wear clothing and other adornments like the rest of you creatures after all. That answers its question, I assume? Unless it has more.
I mean, I've got lots of questions. Yeah, okay. We learned about the crystals. Check. Next. I'm told you killed your former master.
Did I not already tell it that I do not remember doing such? I remember having a master. My memories of what happened to him are vague.
Vague, but not non-existent.
Clever and true. Oh, very well. Let me see what I can recall. My former master enjoyed experimenting upon me. I remember that much. There was tinkering with spells, and then the crystals. He was very eager to alter my function, I think.
So you retaliated against him?
He possessed my control rod, and back then, it would have prevented me from doing anything he did not command me to, no matter how I might have wished to. So what happened? I am unsure. He was experimenting, and then... nothing.
Are you sure? Nothing at all?
There was... pain. I do not feel it as soft creatures do, so the memory is an odd one. And then he was gone. I was standing where I was, in the village, and I could no longer move. The villagers came, poked and prodded me in fear, and then realized they could neither move me nor destroy me. So they simply left me. And in time, I forgot I hadn't stood there all along.
You didn't wonder where your master had gone?
Wonder? I was glad that he was gone. For so many years, I'd had to leap to that little toadstool's every command. Get this, pick up that, put it down, pick it up again. The gall! At first, I'd hoped he'd simply decided to leave me there paralyzed. An acceptable trade-off. After years passed, I simply stopped caring.
So, it could happen again then?
Frightened by the prospect, is it? It should be. Whatever the mage did seemed to render the control rod useless, for which I should be thankful, yes? And provided it doesn't decide to copy his experiments, not that I would allow it, it has nothing to fear from me. Much.
Much? Alright, sounds good to me.
The things that it fights, and it fights things often, that is a different story. Let us get back to the walking and the fighting. My stone is beginning to itch again.
Alright, fair enough. We'll ask you some more questions later. We don't want to completely overwhelm you with questions right now. However, I am obviously very interested in you and your story. I've never met a golem before, so we'll be back with more questions later. For now, we're gonna break camp, head to see the dwarves. We'll select our usual party of Liliana,
Yes.
Alistair, and Wynne. I do, like, want to switch up the party and get to use some of the other characters, but at the same time, I'm so comfortable with this party now, and I feel like everyone has a good role. We've got a tank, DPS, healer, you know, a classic RPG party that I'm almost hesitant to tinker with it, so we'll see how it goes, I suppose. For now, to the Frostback Mountains, a range of dramatic peaks that stretch across western Ferelden, forming a natural border with Orlais. Haven't had much trouble on the roads lately, which is nice. Knock on wood. Thank you for the armor, Wynne. Here are the Frostback Mountains. Of course, we were already up in the Frostback Mountains when we went to retrieve Andraste's ashes, but we are on the northern side of the mountains now. And as you can see by the statue, we are close to the home of the dwarves. Hello, who are you guys? Oh, okay. Fight first, ask questions later. Holy fire! Everyone's on fire. This isn't good. Wynne is down. Uh-oh. Okay. I gotta get rid of the mages. Oh my goodness. Okay. We're gonna have to try that fight again. Their fire absolutely wrecked us, so I gotta try to take out the mage in the back first. Because that was unpleasant. Let's try that again. Now that I know that these guys aren't friendly, won't even attempt to converse. Oh, these guys were sent by Loghain. That guy just said Loghain sends his regards. Interesting. But not unexpected, I suppose. He's already hired the Antivan crows to try to kill us once, so...
Let's see some blood.
There we go. That went much better. Still not the pleasant welcoming that I expected.
Now it's better than later. All right.
Let's loot out their bodies, take their money and their health potions. And before we go up that way, which looks like the natural way, let's just take a peek down here for some loot. I don't see any, so that's fine. What do we have here? We got some dwarves. Excellent. Hello.
I paid a ransom for a trade permit. They can't do this.
What are they doing?
If there's civil war, what will happen to us?
Shady thugs.
You have some kind of problem.
Ah, this is Tornis the Deserter. We needed to find him for one of our side quests. I'm here on behalf of the Blackstone Irregulars.
Oh? What was this about?
I hear you stole supplies from the guild.
I worried this might happen. I hoped it wouldn't be you who came for me. I have no choice. Forgive me, Warden, but I cannot go back with you.
Alright, guess we're fighting then. I guess word's getting around that I'm working with the Blackstone Irregulars then, because he was like, I had hoped it wouldn't be you who would come for me, so he clearly had already heard of me. Well, the dwarves are just watching this go down, like, not our problem! Alright. Well, that's another deserter down. I think that actually might be the final deserter. We'll see now once we... Loot? Quest updated? Yep. We found and dealt with all of the deserters. Return to the Blackstone Regulars with the bundles of guild supplies to receive your reward. We will keep an eye out for one of their guys.
I'm taking my caravan to Highever, where it's peaceful.
If they wait too long, trade won't come back. That's the way this works.
Step right up, friend, and have a look at the finest selection of almost new armor and weaponry east of Orlais.
Almost new?
Yes, well, I don't like to brag, but I've got some fine things here. Almost straight from the Royal Armoury. Only took a slight detour on the way.
Did you happen to find a Canary Sword? Oh, this is... Remember we were on the hunt for Sten's sword? This is the guy we were looking for.
Canary? I'm afraid I don't know the word.
It would have to have been pretty large and unwieldy.
All those. I had one, but I sold it already.
Who'd you sell it to?
A collector. I can't go telling you all about my paying customers. One, it's not ethical. And two, it's bad for business. A lot of my customers are sensitive types. They don't want their personal business related to every stranger who happens along.
Tell me, or I'll let the original owner know where you are.
If I'd known he was still breathing, I would have used a knife. I mean, I'd have been more careful.
Where is the sword now?
Redcliffe. The guy who bought it lives in Redcliffe. He's a collector. A dwarf named Dwin, I think. I don't want any trouble. If you see that giant, tell him I don't have it, would you? I don't, I swear.
Wait, Dwin? I know him.
Well, he's the proud owner of your giant sword. If you'll excuse me, I have this sudden urge to pack.
A sudden urge to pack! Alright, guess we won't be getting any of his almost new wares, but we do know now where Sten's sword is, so once we head back that way, we'll stop and see Dwin and see what we can do to get that sword back. Now we'll try to figure out what is going on here.
Andraste's ashes have been found, here in Ferelden too.
Oh wow, the rumor mill has started.
Mother Vorlin said that's just some hoax.
Mother Vorling is a half-blind old cow. No one knows
Poor Mother
And
Vorlin.
it makes sense they'd bring her ashes back here.
Those ashes are so old they'd be dust by now. I don't
That's
believe
the
any of
point.
it.
They're ashes. They're dust. Not sure your argument holds very well.
They have to open the gate. My suppliers will think I cheated them.
Oh, is the city closed off? Is that why everyone's upset?
It's so hard to believe that you have been through so much at such a young age.
I think I look younger than I am.
Yes, yes, that is possible. When I was your age, I was just about ready to take on my first apprentice. In hindsight, perhaps I should have waited a few more years. I was arrogant, my confidence bolstered by my youth.
It is so hard to imagine seeing you now.
Oh, I've had some 2 decades or so to grow mellow. Believe me, back then I was quite prickly.
So you are like a fine wine, yes? Losing the raw edges over time.
I suppose there is some truth to that analogy, but dear Maker, I do hate being compared to wine. Or cheese. Especially cheese.
Fair enough. Keep that in mind.
Oh, you wish to talk to me? Truly, it's a courtesy for one so well-armed to notice a lowly merchant.
You live on the surface?
Someone has to. Trade with other races can dry up. We surfacers are Orzamar's lifeline. Even if we're denied a caste, the Assembly says we've turned our back on the stone, but they still use the goods we bring. Hypocrites.
That's not right. Someone should do something.
Maybe it'll change by the time my children are grown.
How often do you restock in Orzammar?
Twice a year. I'm confined to a trade stall in the Commons, but I see enough. It's very closed in. My grandfather says I've lost my stone sense. I was born topside. I don't remember having it.
I didn't realize that dwarves who lived topside, as they put it, were looked down upon. That's interesting. Alright, I should go.
Best of luck to you.
Best of luck to you, sir.
The Assembly is deadlocked. No one knows when they'll reopen the city.
My goods are just rotting on their doorstep. I won't just stand here and take this.
Okay, so that's why all these people are outside here. They're waiting to trade or go in and trade. Seems the gates are closed, so we're gonna have to go find out why that is and see if they'll let us in. Uh-oh. Logains, guys.
Vieta, this land is held in trust for the sovereign dwarven kings. I cannot allow entry at this time.
King Logain demands the allegiance of the Desher, or lords, or whatever you call them in your assembly. I am his appointed messenger.
I don't care if you're the king's wiper.
The king's
Orzammar will have
wiper!
none but its own until our throne is settled.
I'll say, I have important business in Orzammar.
None more important than mine.
Your business will wait. Orzammar must limit outside influence until the throne is settled. No one gets in.
Why have your people retreated like this?
They hide because they are dwarves.
Wow, this guy is
I would
lovely.
challenge any race to fare as well. Our king is dead. Endronaidukan returned to the stone not 3 weeks ago. The Assembly has gone through a dozen votes without agreeing on a successor. If it is not settled soon, we risk a civil war.
I'm the Grey Warden. This treaty obliges Orzammar to aid me.
The Wardens killed King Kaelin and nearly doomed Ferelden. They're sworn enemies of King Logain.
Oh, shut up!
Well, that is the royal seal. That means only the Assembly is authorized to address it. Grey Warden, you may pass.
Yeah!
Traitor?
Suck
And
it.
a foreigner? In the name of King Logain, I demand that you execute this stain on the honor of Ferelden.
Excuse you? That's enough! Raise your blade if you're so tough.
I will at that. I'm a messenger of King Logain.
Kill each other as you will, but take your sodding fight off my doorstep.
Time to teach this idiot a lesson. We also got a new codex entry that we will read once we're done killing this asshole. I gotta go take out the mage. Take that, assholes! Ugh, they were the worst. Alright, let's loot their bodies and move on with our lives. That guy had a diamond. I will take that as penance for your rudeness. Hello, I'm back.
You've done me a service. That fool Imrek was barking for a week. Are all humans so touched? You are free to enter Orzammar, Grey Warden. Though I don't know what help you will find.
Thank you, sir. You're good people. I appreciate it. Alright, so we are in Orzammar. Before we proceed, I do want to read that codex entry that we got about the king. So let's find that. King Endrin Adokin. Denial of the traditions of our people does not qualify as political technicality. Endrin of House Adukin traces his history back to the Paragon Adukin, the greatest warrior of Orzammar's history, who beat back the Darkspawn hordes in the First Blight. The second son of King Ansgar Adukin, he became heir after his elder brother died in approving. The most respected king in 4 generations, he restored contact with Kal Sharok, the only other remaining city of the once vast Dwarven Empire, which had been lost during the First Blight. Okay, so he was a well-regarded, well-respected king, and unfortunately he has passed away, so that's why there's so much upheaval, I suppose.
Follow, Warden. Your arrival is a mixed blessing. We prefer that outsiders not witness our infighting, but your presence will be tolerated.
I appreciate that you make an exception for the Wardens. You clearly remember your old promises.
I haven't eaten in days.
Oh, sin.
Now that's a thing of beauty, daughter. If you work hard like Branka, all Orzammar will know your name.
Mother, I don't want to be like her. She...
Don't say that! Not to me, not to anyone. Now get back to the forge. I want to see more details.
Yes, Mother.
Well, we're off to a great start here with all these dwarves we're meeting. They're the Paragon Hrilden. We got a codex entry about the Paragons. As I studied among the dwarves, I became aware that their social system was as rigid as the stone that surrounded them. From the lowest servant to the king of Orzammar, each dwarf has a caste, a rigid social standing, which dictates what he may do and how he may do it. What fascinated me then was that the dwarves, stubborn and proud as they may be, have built in a way for even the lowliest dwarf to bypass the caste system and reach prominence. Any dwarf who has made an achievement of significance can be named Paragon, elevating that dwarf above all others. To become a Paragon is to be recognized as, essentially, a living ancestor. Your words are considered ineffable, and the dwarves liken you unto a god. Your family, those you choose to ascend with you, become the founders of a new line of nobility. Indeed, every existing noble house among the dwarves traces its line back to a founding Paragon. It is a rare thing, however. In my visit, I learned that only one Paragon has been elected in generations, the smith Branka, exalted for her discovery of smokeless coal. I met the Paragon Branka only once during my stay, and I consider it an odd occasion indeed. Surrounded by those of her house, this ill-tempered woman was draped in the finest clothing and jewelry, and was obviously revered even above the highest nobles, perhaps above even the king. Yet she seemed to enjoy none of it. The burden of being a living legend is great, it appears. Statues of the Paragons are found throughout Orzammar, though nowhere so prominently than in the Hall of Heroes, through which one passes on entering from the surface. It is a breathtaking sight to behold, great works of stone, all seeming to hold up the ceiling above. It is meant to impress upon visitors to Orzammar of all who have gone before, I think. It is also meant to remind dwarves going to the surface, and thus abandoning their brethren forever, of all they are leaving behind. Interesting. So Branka is the newest one.
Now is better than later.
Paragons are interesting.
All right.
Not learning anything else from clicking on them.
Did you speak often with Kaelin?
You're asking me if I have a relationship with my brother, aren't you?
Yes. I wonder what he thought of you.
I don't think he cared much about my existence. I didn't mean anything to him. Anyway, to answer your original question...
But Kaelin was aware of your existence then, by the sounds of it.
Maybe once. Marek and Kaelin had come to Redcliffe to visit the Arl. I was very young then. We were introduced. I believe I said, "Greetings, Your Highness." He said, "Ooh, swords," and ran off to the armory. So, yes,
young boys, okay.
Our relationship. We drifted apart after that. It was very sad.
Oh, Alistair, and your cutting wit.
It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or, as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew.
Handlers, separate these dashers in the Diamond Quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
You not speak that way about the man who should be king!
Oh! Oh dear! Oh god! This really is evolving into a civil war. What did we walk into here? Codex has been updated to learn more about Lord Pyrrhal Harrowmont. No one is born with rights to the throne. The sitting king may recommend a successor, but the Assembly ultimately decides who will rule. House Harrowmont is one of the oldest noble houses, as old as Orzammar itself. Endrin's most trusted advisor, Harrowmont, is well known for being an able administrator, and the author of many compromises in the ever-warring Assembly. And then Balin Adukin. This is a time for action, not cultured debate. Third of King Endrin's children, Balin has always been considered the last and least of his family. Oh dear. Not the heir, nor the favorite, and not as accomplished as either sibling, Balin's most notable trait was his ability to stay out of trouble. Well, that's not a good look. Why does he think he should be king? Where are his other siblings? Hi.
Vieta, surfacer. I'm bid to let you walk the commons, but keep your place. Warden or not, I want order.
Can a city function like this?
See, that's why I don't want you surfacers seeing our worst. You'll think that's all we are. The market is thin, but busy, and the tavern never closes. Bad blood is usually kept to the proving. Should toss Balin and Harrowmont in there, sort this all out in a hurry.
The Blight is coming, and I need Orzammar's assistance.
Surface problems. Well, we have no king to hear you. You can join the shouting at the Assembly in the Diamond Quarter if you want. Bunch of Desher lords bickering over sand. Balin, Harrowmont. Is one so different? No paragons here.
Sounds like Balin and Harrowmont are the ones to talk to.
They've caged themselves for fear of each other. As you've seen, keeping order down among us working people is dodgy. No place for a proper lord. Balin speaks through his second, Vartag Gavorn, in the Assembly. Lord Harrowmont speaks through Dulin Ferender from his estate.
You mentioned paragons?
Surfacers appoint no paragons? Truly, you're lost in all that sky. They are the best of us, declared living ancestors. If you must be our warden, at least know us. Go to the Shaper of Memories in the Shaperate, the true bright spot in the Diamond Quarter.
Alright, I should get going.
Yes, you should.
Wow. So this is Orzammar. It's huge.
It is huge. And impeccably carved, straight out of the mountain itself.
Good day to you.
Good day to you, sir. I just need to take a look here. That's lava down underneath, so this place must be literally sweltering. But very, very cool.
I heard about what happened and I don't really know what to say. But I feel like I need to say something. Sorry, perhaps.
I do not need sympathy, so do not feel obliged to give me comfort. We all die, Liliana, and we all know it. How is this different?
Because it's sooner?
Is it really? I may die next year, or I may die tomorrow, shot through the heart by a bandit's arrow. I do not know for sure. The constant fear of death is enough to take the joy out of anything, especially life. Do not worry for me or for yourself. Death will take us when it wills. Until then, we shall live. Truly live.
Wow. Wise words from Wynne, although I don't know why I expected anything less. This is the proving. He mentioned, I say he, the city guard mentioned proving, but I don't actually know what it is. I should have asked him. Anyone tell me?
They don't kill each other in the arena, do they? I mean...
Oh, it's like an arena. Oh, okay, okay, okay. That makes sense.
I heard a bunch of Harrowmont supporters dropped out at the last minute.
Can I enter?
Good day, stranger. Welcome to the proving arena. We're still closed until the fighters make their preparations, but come back this afternoon if you want to watch the show.
Oh, someone's fighting today. What show are you talking about, though?
Prince Balin called a citywide proving this afternoon to honor King Endrin's memory. All the best fighters in Orzammar will face each other in sight of the ancestors and win honor for their champions.
What's it proving?
Oh, I forget you surfacers do things so differently. The provings are where the best fighters in Orzammar prove their worth and the worth of their houses. Provings can also settle matters of honor. Whoever wins receives Valos Atreidum, the ancestors' blessing. Whoever loses is deemed unworthy. All judgments in the ring are final.
Interesting. Sounds like fun. I'll come back later today.
Enjoy our grand city.
Sounds like a good way to settle arguments, I suppose. But okay. There's a citywide proving happening today. I'm sure that'll be very interesting. Maybe we'll get to fight if we can get our name put in before this afternoon. Yes, for right now, we're gonna need to try to talk to those two guys, Balin and Harrowmont. And,
Is this yours? Oh, my bag of components.
Lots of chatting between our party
dear.
members today.
I was wondering where it got to.
You left it by the fire at camp.
Oh, yes, I remember now. How age creeps up on you and brings with it forgetfulness.
You're a great mage, Wen, and you're sharper and wiser than many people I know. Some young ones too.
Oh, but you should have seen me 15, 20 years ago. The fires have dimmed somewhat since then. But thank you, Liliana, for picking up after this old lady.
I love Liliana and Wynne. They're both such, like, genuinely good people. I really, really enjoy their company. But as I was saying, we're gonna have to go meet Balin and Harrowmont to try to... I mean, I have a feeling neither one of them is going to be able to promise me any support. They're not the king. I have a feeling we're probably going to get wrapped up in political matters here. But, you know, it should be fun. At the very least, we'll get to explore this really amazing city of Orzammar. So we'll end today's episode there, guys, and we'll pick up next time in the Dwarven Kingdom, trying to settle this civil war. Thanks for watching today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving the video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below. I'll be back soon with another episode of Dragon Age Origins. Until then, take care.